Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe as, well, usual, and I'm joined by Webb. Hello.
Hello, I'm the less important one.
No, you're the moderately important one. We've already been through this. Come on.
Do I get to be more important since I think I'm the one editing this episode?
Yeah, but that's only because I'm not very well. I'm not very well, by the way. Because, the most important one's not very well.
No one cares how well I'm doing.
No. Okay, stop. Okay, how have you, the moderately important one, been doing this week?
Well, I feel that the first thing that I should mention about how I've been doing is my utter disappointment and rage at what happened to us yesterday.
Oh yes. Now this was a lot of fun. I can tell you to live through. I don't feel like my entire life's been ruined at all. I think I built it up a bit too much.
A little bit too much there, yeah. So, as many people listening to this may be aware, we are in a band, and we play the musics, and
we play many of the music.
We play many music. We have a practice space that we rent out, and it's like we have it on the Sunday.
We have it like Sunday, basically, like any time it is Sunday, that's when we can just rock on up and do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's like a timeshare type thing.
Yeah.
Now, one of the people who has it on a different day, presumably, thought that it would be a really good idea to fuck everything up for us. So, a person who I shall henceforth refer to as the toilet prick decided that they would just leave the taps on in the toilet, because there's like a toilet that's like just outside the hall of where where our practice room is. And the practice room's like, it's slightly lower than like the ground level.
There's like a
ramp.
Yeah, it's like, it must be like 3 or 4 feet lower, and then there's a ramp inside.
So when the toilet prick decided to just leave the taps running one day, it flooded the bathroom, which meant that the practice room flooded.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's not like practice rooms are filled with really fucking expensive fucking equipment.
Yeah. I mean,
if water touches it, it's basically destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky because we are sensible, cynical people, so we never ever left anything expensive in there.
Oh no, I'm still quite deeply wounded that our decaffeinated tea bags didn't make it. Yeah. I'm quite upset about that.
Yes,
because they were quite tasty.
Yeah, but because the thing is that even though we didn't leave any expensive equipment in there, we did have like an old suitcase that had a kettle and some mugs and some tea bags and stuff in there.
Aforementioned tea.
So that we could have tea when we practiced.
We also had a few cables in there, I think, as well. Yeah.
So yeah, that's now a horrible mouldy mess, all because of the toilet prick.
Yeah, nobody likes that guy. The toilet prick is just... Well, he's a bit of a toilet prick, actually.
He really is. So, in short, I hope that someone, floods his front room and he has to deal with all of his stuff being mouldy.
Yeah, it's not cool, because, it doesn't smell very nice either. And especially, we have a horn section who probably have lung rot by this point. Like, the poor buggers were in there, giving it their all, breathing in very deeply, getting fungus in their lungs.
Because that's the big problem. Even though, by the time that we got in there, the carpet was merely damp.
I don't know, Zoe did, kneel down to unpack, and she got up and she had 2 wet patches on her knees.
Yeah, it's really soaked in. But yeah, the whole place just smells of mould
and
now.
Rot.
It's horrible. And there's a dehumidifier in there to try and ease it, but all
it was
that
just
does
pissing out more water.
So it's actually doing the opposite of what a dehumidifier is supposed to do. It was emitting more moisture.
Yeah, it's like no, maybe you should get your money back on this rental.
So yeah, that's the thing that's been on my mind most.
No, I can understand that. It was fucking shitty.
But
especially because we couldn't use the toilet and we couldn't fill up the band kettle. I mean, we couldn't really use the kettle anyway because all of the mugs had been soaking in mildew and shit.
Yeah.
But it was just a shit show all round. not very fun.
I guess you probably want me to also talk about video games.
I guess we are most well known for video game related stuff, so
So what I have been playing most since the last podcast is a game called Factorio.
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 I think Factoria is a way better name.
Yeah, but that's not its name, so...
Well, maybe it should be.
Well, it's in early access, so maybe you can talk to them, and maybe that's one of the changes that they can make.
Okay, we'll talk. Okay.
Um,
Look at me acting like I'm a fucking big shot or something. I'd be like, I think it should be called this. They'd be like, fuck off, boat prick. We don't care what you have to say.
yeah, they'd probably say something akin
Which,
to that.
well within their rights.
But yeah, it's a game that is... The closest thing I can compare it to is if you've ever played the Tekkit mods for Minecraft, where it's mostly about setting up a huge automated system that does things for you, and gradually expanding that, and it just becoming, like every time you want to add something, it becomes exponentially larger until you're just sprawling over an entire map with your just destruction of the natural environment. It's basically a top-down 2D version of that.
Right.
But without the survival elements.
Also, it's literally just like a builder.
Yeah, you
kind
just
of thing.
you just build and you mine, you make like automated quarries that mine iron, and then you feed those through conveyor belts into furnaces, which then pop them out onto more conveyor belts, and then those go into like automated construction
Okay,
things.
yeah, no, I get it. That's exactly what you used to do in Tekkit.
Yeah.
You and Drummer Matt were the worst for that.
Yeah,
Have you told Drummer Matt about this game?
I have. He seemed quite interested.
Oh, that's probably why we haven't seen him in a little while. You've killed him, I hope you know.
He's dead now. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It was actually gifted to us by Smirky. Thank you, by the way. You've taken like 40 hours of my life at this point.
Are you mad at him?
I'm not mad at all.
Exactly.
It's a funny one because I really want to do something with it for a video, but it's really difficult because the game is really, really long-winded. And it's also in early access, so it's not the final version of it. So.
Yeah.
But it's really long-winded, so a regular video we do, like a Snipe and Whip play, there's too much in the game. You won't see hardly any of it in the first hour, so it doesn't really make a good game like that.
Yeah, it does sound like a remarkably slow burner. I mean, not like... That's great. It's just, for a video, it would not fit that format. Because it's a very slow, chilled out kind of waiting kind of game.
Yeah, you do spend a lot of time waiting. Once you've got an automated system set up, there's a lot of waiting.
I like it how the goal of the game is to work as hard as you can to not have to do anything.
It's
just like real life.
Yeah, it's like capitalism, basically.
Yeah, basically. That's a different discussion. Let's not veer off topic here.
It's a pity because I don't know if we can make a Snipe and Whip play out of it. I don't think it's also kind of too slow to stream because even like the 3 hours or so we'd stream it, you wouldn't really see that much. I think the only way to make videos or any content on it is to make like an 80-part full Let's Play of it, which, given that that's not the type of videos we normally make, no one will watch.
No, I've got this. Okay, ASMR, I think is it's called, is pretty popular right now.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is do a Factoria, like...
Factorio.
Okay, I'm just going to say it's better when I say it. Make a Factoria Let's Play that's like 8,000 parts long, and just be really close to the microphone and be like, and yeah, I'm just waiting for my oil to come back from the refinery. And just basically do that, and like, you will have all of the fans... Like, literally, people will kick it in the door and, like, throw underwear at you. You will be YouTube famous forever.
I'm going to be honest, I think that strategy would probably work better for you.
For me?
Yes.
I don't want to play Factorio.
Yes, but people are more likely to want to hear a lady's voice speaking softly to them than my slightly dour British voice.
I don't know, you've got the dry kind of don't give a shit, very cutting British thing down. Like, and here I am waiting for the oil refinery, much like waiting for my father's slippers.
I'm not Total Biscuit.
I know, but you should be! I thought you would be when I married you. This is why I've said it. That's the reason I married you. I thought you were Total Biscuit. Well, I'm not saying Total Biscuit. I'm saying, I don't know, a bit more like Yahtzee. You're a bit like Yahtzee. You've got that hate.
I hate everything.
You hate pretty much everything.
That's true, I do.
You're basically married to an Australian.
The similarities are shocking.
Exactly, yes.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been playing a shit ton of Factorio. I think I am close to like 40 hours of being racked up in like a week.
Are you kidding? I've racked up like 200 hours of Banished just doing fuck all. I can't judge you for this.
I'm going to be honest, I think it's close to 400 hours.
No fucking shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is why I don't check the how long I've played thing, because it's always depressing.
I am really, really grateful there isn't one in Minecraft, because when I did get really super into building like Tech It worlds, I don't even think how many hours I spent like just tweaking those big computer systems.
No.
That is something actually for the devs of Factorio to add in. In Tech It, eventually you could build a giant computer network where you could press a button on it and it would make you a baked potato.
Holy shit. We should have that in real life.
Yeah, so I want to make it so at a certain point of your automated system you can make a baked potato in Factorio, at which point it will then be on par with the Tech It mod.
No, I think that's fair. I think that would actually bring a lot to the game. And it is early access, who knows, they might listen. I demand a immediate baked potato button.
So, my automated baked potatoes aside...
Yes.
What have you been doing?
Well, I completed The Witcher 1, which I thought was absolutely fucking awesome. Really loved that story.
Finally bit the bullet and
I finally bit the bullet and I beat it, because I don't know if it's just me, but I tend to like, especially when I'm playing a really good game, I tend to get near the end of it, and I know it's near the end, and then I'll just stop playing it. Because I'll be scared of finishing it. I'm not really explaining it properly, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want it to be over. Even though I had like The Witcher 2 installed ready to play, I was like, no. I've just...
You don't want to miss anything.
That's especially like the intricacy of the choices in The Witcher are legendary as well. Like the consequences for that.
But it seems it's less moral choicey. It's more, here are two options, both of which you could argue is the moral one.
Oh no, like the story in The Witcher 1, especially for choices, they are so beautifully grey. It's not just, would you like to, punch a child or give them a candy and take them home? I don't know. It's kind of like, well, I can't even think of an example, and I don't really want to bring one up because spoilerificness, but like there's a lot of grey area in the first Witcher with stories. Like there's a point where you have to give you have a choice of giving this kid to either Triss, which is a sorceress woman and sleep with, coincidentally.
Because it is a woman in the Witcher games.
Yeah, but whatever. She's cool.
Hey, everyone wants Geralt's big, slightly white, weirdly coloured penis.
Can we not talk about Geralt? Because I've just read a section in the book where he basically sleeps with like this bandit queen, and I'm like, okay, and then he like kills her by cutting up her like. There's like a main artery like on your bikini line, and he just fucking cuts. I'm like, oh my god, this is a bit uncomfortable. But no, we're not talking about his crazy albino penis, okay? And that you can give it to this other girl. Oh shit, what's her name? Shani. You can give him to her, and I don't know what that really does. What your choices end up with. Like regardless, because I've only finished the first one and I've just started the second one, but like there's so many good points and bad points. Because you're like, okay, Triss is like, she's a boss ass sorceress, so yeah, and the kid's a bit magical, so she's probably gonna know what to teach him and like treat him right. But she's cold. She's not very nice, so she's not gonna be a very good mother figure. So I gave him to the mother figure. Because she was really nice, but knew shit all about magic. And it's still like, that's not a really important decision. But I did agonise like a fucker about that.
Oh, you're ridiculous for agonising.
I am dreadful. It's like, just basic dialogue fucking options. I was like, okay, I'm going to pause at Shift Tab. What are the consequences for fine day, isn't it? What if I say yes?
Which I will say, you do kind of ruin games for yourself a bit doing that.
I do, but I like getting that involved. I can't help
Well,
it.
that's the thing. You got to get involved, and you've got to just let it happen. Looking
This
at
is-
what happens is against the spirit.
You are not the only person to tell me this, and I know it's true. And I do give myself a kick up the arse every now and again. Okay, look, I'm just going to make a fucking decision, because worst comes to worst, I can play through it again. I can reload an autosave, whatever. You know? Yeah. So I finished that story and finally got around to playing The Witcher 2. I say finally because it took me so fucking long to get working. So, on a high, giddy with excitement for the second installment, I boot up the second Witcher. Still really all, hyped up because I've just finished the first one and I found it wonderful. And I play lefty, so I always have to rearrange keys and figure shit out, which is a massive pain in the ass for me. I think Fable 1 did it where it had either had default WASD or default arrow keys.
Yeah, there was just a little option you could switch, so it changed all your controls over to a left-handed,
And that
optimized thing.
That was so lovely because that meant that I could just play. It was so great, but no such luck with The Witcher 2. So I get into it and I'm like, well, I'll change the controls. Where are the control options? There are none. So I'm like, okay, Shift Tab. Where the fuck are the control options? And it's like, it's in the launcher, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I go through, and this is the problem. Because playing lefty, I have limited amounts of keys around, where my hand is on the keyboard. Apart from, WASD has shit tons of keys.
Yeah, but it's the reason why, because, back in the day...
Back in the day, it was all arrow keys.
Yeah, arrow keys
no mice.
Yeah, arrow keys was default, but it moved over to WASD because of the lack of keys around it.
I can see why. I just can't do it because, I use my mouse with the left hand, and that's really, really uncomfortable.
Oh, it's horrible, yeah.
It is really horrible. But yeah, and I was sorting everything out, and I was like, okay, I'll turn it up to Ultra. Our machine it can deal with The Witcher 2 on Ultra. It can do it. I rearranged the keys. I guess I was like, oh, medallion. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that does, but I have to guess that I might need it, so I have to figure out where that is. So about half an hour of just booting up to tutorial, because I knew the combat had changed quite a bit from the combat in the first one to be more gamey. Because, the first one with the click only when your sword lights up. Whereas the second one's basically, just keep clicking. Click, click, click. You are murder. That's great.
The Witcher's combat has been a slow sort of process to making it more and more a clicker game.
Yes. What I'm saying is that The Witcher 2 is literally cookie clicker.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. 10 out of 10 would play again.
Would click again.
Yes. So I have to fuck around with it and get a handle on the controls, and I finally do this. It takes me nearly 40 minutes to get this shit sorted out. And I'm playing the tutorial, and I've noticed that it's running at about 10 frames a second, which was another fucking irritating thing. So I was like, okay, why is The Witcher... I was so pissed off at this point because I'd just been in and out of the game, fucking around with the controls in the launcher, and going into the game and seeing how natural that felt, and then quitting out and changing it to something, And I was so pissed off that I just basically opened up Google and went, why is The Witcher 2 running like shit? And the first result was my answer. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, goody.
That is always fantastic when you get so pissed off at something not working that you just type in your question in the most petulant way possible. Why is this all shit? And then it gives you a response and you're like, thank you.
You're like, I'm so glad I'm not the only person to have completely lost it and turned into a juvenile.
Yep.
And it was basically this one box which was Uber sampling, which I still don't know what that is. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I think it's something to do with, because this is when CD Projekt Red actually made their own engine, because it was on an edited Neverwinter Nights one in the first Witcher.
Yeah, I think it was on the Neverwinter Nights 2 engine, the first
game. So it was like...
Might be wrong. Don't quote us on that.
No,
but...
don't. It's on one of those. Encountered a couple of glitches after I got all of that shit sorted, which took me long enough, at which point I just went, you know what, I don't feel like playing anymore, and just, I don't know, went and sat on the couch and cried for a while or so. I don't know, I can't remember what I did. And started playing it. It's pretty good. It starts you off basically at a war camp, which isn't in the middle of a battle like The Witcher 1 did, which was appreciated, I ain't gonna lie. But it was still really difficult because everything had changed, everything looked different. It was just so strange coming straight out of The Witcher 1 and how kind of weird that looks and how weirdly it plays, and coming to the second one, which is way more realistic and characters have polygons in their faces now, and there's god rays, and you're like, what the fuck?
It takes a little bit of readjusting.
It did take me a good bit. I mean, I've got like 5-6 hours into it now, and after the initial unpleasantness, I'm actually starting to really enjoy it. It is definitely good. I like what they've done with some of the characters. Like, Triss is not a bitch anymore. In the first one, she was a really cold, standoffish bitch, which I'm led to believe that's actually quite close to her character in the books. I haven't encountered her in the books yet, because I am reading them, because of course I fucking am.
Your life is slowly beginning to revolve entirely around The Witcher.
Well, I've already got grey hair, so yeah. Why the fuck not? I basically, like, before I played The Witcher, I dyed my hair grey, and then I was like, I'll play The Witcher. I'm so glad I dyed my hair grey. I'm such a badass now. But yeah, I've been enjoying that. Bit janky, because obviously it's their engine, like, now, so you could tell that they were still finding their feet with it, if that makes any sense. Like, there's a couple of oddities to certain things. Like, it's hard to explain, but like picking items up or interacting with certain things, it's a bit wobbly.
Well, the Witcher games have always kind of existed a little bit outside of the regular, like, video game system.
Yeah.
They sort of do their own thing over to the side, so...
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Some oddities are to be expected.
Yeah, but I have been enjoying that. I really have. I have also been playing Miitomo.
You and the rest of the internet.
Yes, yeah. So, I didn't know it was an app. It's like, I've listened to podcasts, and I've seen people on, like, on Twitter, like, posting pictures, and I just didn't know it was an app. And then it clicked one day, and I was like, I need to see if I can get that, and I did.
Well, you don't really follow Nintendo stuff, so...
Not as a rule, no. I mean, I respect what they do when they're not being ruthless, horrible bastards.
Well, you didn't grow up with it. You grew up with a PC, so Nintendo's kind of a bit off your radar, usually.
Exactly, yeah. So I downloaded Miitomo. For those who don't know, it's... You make a little me, you make a you, and they're supposed to be like you, and then they ask you questions and you answer them. And you can dress them up in fun clothes, and for answering questions, and if you have friends on there liking your friends' posts or commenting, it gives you currency, so you can go buy stuff for them to dress up as, and it's really fucking nothing. I mean, there are like, there is like a little game kind of thing in there where you drop like a me down, like, it's like a pachinko machine.
Okay.
Pull the lever, etc. Where you basically, wherever it lands, you can get sweets, which I'm not sure why they're in there. I mean, like, you can talk to one of your friends' me's and they'll be like, oh, they won't really answer your question unless you give them a sweet. And you're like, you know, I'm just gonna phone Drummer Matt and ask him what his favourite fucking restaurant is. I don't need this shit. Like, Drummer Matt, fucking, what's your earliest childhood memory? Thank you. You know, that's all I need. And you get, like, game tokens for rewards as well, which means instead of spending the currency, you can play these games where you land on, like, clothing. So, like, you can get, like, different shoes, or, like, you get, like, a kitty hat if you land your me in the pachinko, like, on that exact point. And it's like, well, that's okay. And you level up. You get, like, the more friends you have, the more levels, like, you get level ups for that.
Again, just like real life.
Just like real life. And also, like, I think my highest level is, like, my style. Because I just keep buying and changing clothes and taking stupid photos. Because that's another thing that's really fun as well. You can take them and you can, like, take photos of your Miis, and you can add your friends' Miis, and just, it's like a sticker book, and you just make a stupid photo, and that's what everyone's been putting on Twitter.
I think the most interesting thing about it is that it's probably the first example of a Nintendo licensed product where you can swear in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, you can swear, and, like, because it's got, like, a text-to-speech thing, and it's like, hey, what's your favourite thing to do when you're stressed? And the amount of, like jacking off my humongous dick. It's like, it will literally read that to you and won't censor it. And it's like,
yeah,
what?
That was the thing I was most surprised about with it, because like, I think it's the opening question it asks you is like, oh, what do you do? You know, what do you do to relax? And I assumed, like, every response would be jack off.
Oh, there's a lot of them, yeah.
And it turned out that it pretty much was, and it's like, oh, okay, Nintendo, this is really unlike you.
I'm sure it's because those are only shared between friends, and there's no real way for anyone to see your answers unless they're friends with you. Like, I went to my friends Ash and Sarah and went, you need to download this, and then they did, and then they're addicted to it. I did that to Drummer Matt, and now he probably doesn't care, but whatever. And I did it to Zoe, our saxophone player in the band, and now she's addicted to it. And it's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's so addictive.
Well, Nintendo have proved over the years that they are really, really good at making games that you play them and then you go, I'm not sure if this is really a video game. Well, I don't know why I'm playing this.
It's absolutely not a video game, but for some reason it's really enjoyable, and I just don't know why.
It's something to at least momentarily replace, is it Neko Atsume?
No, I'm still playing Neko Atsume. I've got all the cats now, I just don't have all the mementos. I'm 5 short.
You need to min-max your cats.
I really fucking do. There are Reddit threads about the best strategies for this shit.
Why does that not surprise me?
It's fucking amazing. But yeah, that's what I've been playing this week, and destroying everyone's lives with Miitomo.
So you've been playing something, a massive, sprawling RPG with deep story, and something that is actually quite hard to even classify as a video game.
Yes. Have you heard about Microsoft's Tay tweets?
I have heard about this, yes, and it is fucking incredible. Yes, if you are not aware, I think it was at some point last week.
I think so, yeah.
Microsoft launched a Twitter bot called Tay. And it was supposed to interact with millennials. The fact that that's the term used makes me realise exactly how cynical the whole exercise was.
You could almost feel the boardroom meeting, couldn't you?
And what it was supposed to do was to talk to people and interact with them and gradually learn like the lingo and be able to communicate with people in a very believable manner.
So it's basically got a neural net processor. It's not a learning computer.
It's not Skynet.
Yet.
Well,
If it's gonna happen, Microsoft is gonna do it. Did you see that fucking news report, which is like Microsoft says AI is not hostile and will not take us over? It's like, yeah, you'd say that, wouldn't you, Skynet 2? You fucking would.
So they tried to do this thing, and it's just an interesting little technological exercise to try and make something that could communicate, and make an AI that could communicate with people in a very believable manner.
Well, I saw it, like, from the early tweets I saw of it, it looked like it was doing alright, actually.
Yeah, sort of very clever botty.
Yeah, it was a fun idea.
Then it went wrong. It went very wrong, because the problem with the internet is that when you give a thing like this, something where we're supposed to talk to it and then help it learn, people can't help but fuck with it, and so within 15 hours it was taken down. They deleted all the tweets and shut down Tay, because rather than conversing with all those millennials, what it was actually doing was spouting wildly racist and anti-Semitic comments because people had been teaching it how to do that. It also came out in support of Trump. I can't remember what else it did in that original thing, but it was just half of its tweets were just awful, awful things.
I remember several of them that I've seen print screened were basically just graphically, weirdly sexual statements, and it's like, alright, that's... yeah, I can understand why you shut this down.
Yeah, so they took it down, understandably, apologised profusely.
Understandably.
Even though it's not fundamentally Microsoft's fault.
No, but I mean, this is the thing. It's like, I'm so shocked that they didn't put blockers up.
You would have
Where
thought...
it's like, okay, don't mention any racist epithets. Don't... If these words show up, ignore the tweet.
You know what it probably was?
You know what I mean?
What it probably was is that they didn't want to... they didn't want to make it so that any kind of lingo that they weren't aware of would be inadvertently blocked. So something that they think of as meaning one thing, the youth might think of it as meaning something else. I
understand both sides, but I'm very surprised they didn't have any kind of, like, blockers there for any, like, horrible words or things like that.
Oh, it is surprising, because you would have thought they'd do something to prevent that.
Definitely. But they did not.
No,
and,
they did not.
It got shot down after 15 hours, so...
Yeah. And then a few days later, they put it back up. They'd rejigged its algorithms, presumably to go, don't say anything racist anymore.
Where's the line of programming we need to put in there to say stop being a fucking racist?
So they put it back up, and people took a different tact with trying to fuck with it the second time, where they just made it obsessed with drugs. It was just, oh yeah, I'm gonna, what was it? They're sort of talking about Kush and things.
Kush. Yeah.
And my limited knowledge of drug lingo is
very
showing.
very hip and with the youngins. They're all about that Kush and the marijuanas. I've heard.
But yeah, so that got taken down again because after it got obsessed with drugs, it then just got stuck in this weird infinite loop where it just kept saying, "You are
too fast. Please take a rest."
It was just saying that to everyone, and yeah, so they took it down again.
It literally turned into the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter.
Pretty much.
Which, to be fair, is hella entertaining.
The thing is, I think there is a positive side to this whole thing, because I saw some people write like think pieces about, oh, this is exposing the inherent racism of people on the internet.
Hello, person who doesn't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, yes, they ended up making it say racist things, but I don't think that's because the people making it do that were racist. I think it's probably more because it was the most shocking thing they could think of to make it say.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely it. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I mean, it's like, the internet is literally just a massive group of people. But, you know, you can't look at them, you can't punch them in the face.
Oh, the anonymity makes them say awful things without them actually necessarily holding those views.
I don't think it's excusable what people say, even for shock value, but at the same time, it's like, people are going to do it, because there's no repercussions there.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Microsoft didn't see it coming. And it fucking put it out again, and had pretty much exactly the same problem. It's like, are you even paying attention to what's happening here?
Microsoft, have you ever been on the internet?
You think not, but I'm sure at least one of them must have been at some point. Maybe back when it was all message boards and shit.
That's the last time they actually.
But even then, that was like the wild fucking west. We were talking about this the other day. That was like the dregs of humanity on those fucking things. Fuck.
But the thing, as I was saying, there is a positive side to this whole thing. So there is the common sci-fi trope of that one day we will be enslaved by the robots.
We will.
And the AI is going to lead to our inevitable downfall.
It will.
But this shows that might not be the case, because when AI is actually introduced to the general populace, mankind was able to destroy that AI in a matter of hours by simply hurling slurs at it.
You're just hurling absolute garbage at it, and then it was like, okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that when inevitably we start having robot policemen on the street and they inevitably gain sentience and try and take over the world, because
they will.
Because it will happen, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
When these police drones attack you with their electro-batons, I'm not saying that hurling racial epithets at them will stop them, but what I'm saying is there's a chance.
I'm thinking, like, I don't think I'll go for that route when it happens, because it will, let's be honest. I'm gonna go, like, the Venture Brothers kind of aspect of Sergeant Hatred and, like, the gated community guards. How they are cyborgs, but you just go, and I like many chicken fingers to the prom with dancing, and then their faces pop off because it's nonsense, and they break. So I
honestly don't remember that.
You don't remember that? No. Well, yeah, their faces pop off, and it's like, yeah, it makes a good Halloween costume. He can go as like a 40-year-old security guard. You know, it's like, yeah, I think that's it. It's just the nonsensical stupidity that's what will bring down Skynet, which would have made Terminator 3 actually a good movie. Or any Terminator past the second one. If they just started going, yes, we finally got a weapon to fight the machines, and then just started shouting random words at them, like through a megaphone.
Just get Skynet stuck in a logical conundrum.
Yeah, where they're all just lying on the floor going, you are going too fast, please take a rest. And then we can finally reclaim Earth.
Yeah, so see, this whole thing does have a positive aspect.
That I'm hoping someone writes it down, so that when, the robot uprising happens, which it will happen, we'll actually have some defense against it. Like, John Connor must have just been, like, the best guy at the stream of consciousness thing. That's why he was, like, the rebel leader, because he could just literally stand there and scream all manner of nonsensical garbage at them long enough to get, like, the humans away. That's what I feel.
Actually, the other little thing we were going to talk about also has something to do with Twitter.
Is this what I think it is?
Yeah, so we're recording this a lot later than we normally would. This has actually been recorded on the day you're probably going to hear it.
Yeah, that's service. You're welcome. We work hard for you people.
No, this would have been recorded on
April the 1st.
On April the 1st, but it was
like for news and stuff. Like everyone turns into a fucking liar on April Fool's Day. So yeah,
it's kind of hard to get any sense out of the internet on April the 1st. But
because you can get so much sense out of the internet any other day.
Well, you know. But one of the things that was done on April the 1st was the Joker.
Oh, the Joker!
The Joker took over the Suicide Squad Twitter.
Oh my god, that's so edgy!
He was like, ooh, someone's left their password unguarded, so now the Joker's taken over. Now use hashtag Joker was here, and then maybe I'll take over your Twitter too. Ha ha ha! It was the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
It's like, you know when something is so fucking stupid that you just can't form words? I'm kind of at that point right now.
Well, I mean, because it's sort of... It fed into this whole thing that's been going on with Suicide Squad, because they've recently announced that they're doing massive reshoots of it. Because the original trailer that I saw, anyway, was...
I've seen them all. So.
Yeah, was a serious trailer. And it looked crap, to be honest.
Well, I think one of the original ones had Margot Robbie, the woman who plays Harley, in like an isolated kind of cell in the middle of this big ass room with the woman. I can never remember her name, but the woman who basically puts the Suicide Squad together, whose idea it is. She's like the person whose idea it was or whatever, and she's walking along the gantry, kind of looking down on her, and Harley's like, "Are you the devil?" And I'm like, okay, this isn't writing. This is like, what the fuck is this? Is fucking fridge poetry. It's so cringe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's so bad. It's like, and you chose to put that in your trailer. I am a writer. I don't think I've ever written something that cringy. And I wrote fanfiction as a teenager. So I know cringe.
Yeah, you are an expert.
I am an expert on cringe. But that was so bad.
But yeah, so they did a trailer, and like I said, I'm not sure the order they came out, but they did the one trailer that
the one you saw was like, well, pretty much most of the initial ones were just gritty, like this is dark and serious.
So yeah, they put out those trailers that were kind of serious, and then they put out another trailer that had Queen in the background and was done to be a more light-hearted, more comedic take on the trailer,
which gave me whiplash because it's like, okay. I mean, the jokes in that trailer, in my opinion, weren't even very funny.
But the worst part is that it's now come out, like, from sources that are to do with the film. Now, obviously, it might not be true, but...
It's all conjecture.
It seems pretty legit. That every single joke in the movie was used in that trailer. So the trailer that made...
Now that's funny.
Yeah. So, the trailer that they released that was the more light-hearted Queen trailer... That was a lie. That was just a lie, because that's not the movie. Because that was cherry-picking every moment that could be perceived as funny, and then making a trailer around that. So if the movie had have come out like that, then that trailer would have been like a Colonial Marines level lie.
Oh, yeah.
But in the wake of Batman vs. Superman coming out,
was it like, what was it? Critics didn't like it, really, very much, and... moviegoers seem to.
I think vocal moviegoers like it.
Well, yeah, I'm not throwing everyone. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but honestly, I'm not interested because I hate Superman. I think he's shit.
Oh, I think every movie that has Superman in it is actively ruined by the existence of Superman.
Yeah,
I think he's a terrible character.
Pretty much the same here. I'm just not fucking interested. I mean, I love comic books. Can't stand Superman at all. So I really don't like versus movies. I've been burned by like Aliens versus Predator, Freddy versus Jason. It's like, look. I know that they never end in a satisfying manner because they literally can't.
Yeah,
they can't. They can't just favour one fandom over the other. So there's always oh yeah, look, this guy this side has won. Leave it for a little bit. Oh, it looks like the other side won. Or
Yeah, well, I
whatever.
mean, it all harks back to like I think it's like they started doing like the crossover movies like back in the 40s with like the
all the kaiju and stuff like that.
well that was a bit later. I was thinking of the Universal monster movies. Where you'd have they have like Frankenstein and Dracula and all the Universal monsters they'd have like crossover movies and things.
Yeah.
And it kind of started there, and yet they did do the kaiju one, so you had King Kong versus Godzilla, and then, to be honest, everything Toho made ended up in Godzilla.
Yeah, and how many of those ended in a stalemate?
A lot of them.
Yeah, because that's what they do, so they don't piss off one end of it. Because that's the thing. Who's going to go see Freddy vs. Jason? Me, as a Freddy fan, I am going to go see it. One of my friends, as a Jason fan, is going to go see it. They don't want to disappoint both of us.
Yeah.
Or one of us. They want both of us to be happy, and by doing that, they disappoint both of us.
Yeah.
Which is kind of pointless. But, so I'm just not interested in it at all. But, critically, it has not, it's not been well received.
It has not fared well because it is reportedly kind of ponderous, very, very over-serious, has too much going off, and doesn't do much with what it has got going off.
That's basically what I've heard about it too. I mean, I can't say for sure, I haven't seen it.
But it would seem that because that got such a backlash against it for being so serious that they're going back and spending tens of millions of dollars reshooting huge chunks of Suicide Squad to make it funny.
2 points about that. One, how shit is the script well, let's just say that this won't actually fuck up the narrative of the entire movie. How shit is the script if that won't fuck it up? 2, if it is a decent script, that's gonna fuck it up so hard, because you can always fucking tell. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I begrudgingly give Warner Brothers bonus points for that, because they for whatever reason, they're going, shit, okay, we've suddenly decided the same year this movie is going to be released, we're gonna reshoot massive portions of the movie so it actually fits that trailer that or whatever. So it's a bit more lively, because, I mean, Suicide Squad, in my opinion, should be something quite bittersweet. Like, it should be funny, but you should feel bad for laughing, because it's not very nice.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you're dealing with Harley and the Joker, who are, like, the Joker, depending on the incarnation, can be slapstick while murdering you. It's the Jack Nicholson Joker in 1989 Batman. I really like that one because he's a fucking crazy killer, but he'll do it with the most daddest joke, and like this, he'll do like a stupid dance, and you'll be like, "That's funny, but this is really bad, actually." Oh my goodness! Or like, you know, the Mark Hamill Joker, which is the best Joker. Well,
actually, oh yeah, they're doing an animated version of The Killing Joke with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy and Bruce Timm.
Yes, this makes I'm happy.
That's going to be the Batman movie to watch. Yeah.
Yes, no. But anyway, topic at hand. I don't quite get what they were thinking with the Suicide Squad Joker. I mean, again, I haven't seen it. No one's seen it. So I can't say 100%. These are just my initial impressions. But my initial impression is, why? That looks stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't... There has been nothing shown of the new Joker that could give anyone any confidence in it not being terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember before The Dark Knight came out, and everyone was like, Heath Ledger, fuck off. And then he turned out one of the best performances in cinematic history. Like, holy shit.
So we might be very wrong about Jared
So we
Leto,
might be very, very wrong about this. But, you know, I at least know I could be. But, I mean... Yeah, what are the... It's like, he's got grills, he's like a white gangster? Okay. He's got damage tattooed on his forehead, which is really cringe. That's like, I literally, the first time I saw the design for the Joker in Suicide Squad, my immediate thought was DeviantArt character base.
Yeah.
It's like, original character do not steal in the bottom right-hand corner, you know what I mean? I was expecting that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, like, Harley's design is okay. I mean, it's like, it's a bit...
I think it's the one of the weakest designs
Oh
I've
my
ever
god!
seen
Have
her
you
in.
seen the ribbon one she's got
Okay, maybe
from
not,
Injustice?
Okay, maybe not that weak.
Okay, what about that one where it's literally a leather corset and hot pants?
I don't have quite such a problem with that, but that's for different reasons.
Okay, yeah. See, this is the problem. No, fair enough. You know, she's a pretty lady. You want to see her in next to nothing. That's great. But the problem I have with it is, apart from the fact it's fucking stilettos, and it's like, look, I have worn stilettos. You can't do shit in those fucking things. You can't run. You can barely walk in those fucking things.
I thought they were like those weird things that look like trainers.
No, they're like trainer stilettos.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know how you're going to expect to do anything in those, but whatever, I'm suspending my disbelief. But this is where I can't. Her clothes are so perfectly matched up to a property of Joker, Puddin' Freaky, and she's got a big Puddin', dog collar on. It's like, where do you buy these things? Yeah, that's like me. I sit there and I think, okay, that's all very well and good, but where did you get that from? Did the woman who put you guys together go, oh yeah, we're gonna kill you unless you do what we say. Also, you can here are our personal designers. Get what you want made. But if you don't get something weird made to wear, then we'll kill you. Where did they get those clothes from?
I would assume that the thing they'll say in the movie is that they just got their clothes from when they were put into Arkham, and they'll just, or wherever, and they'll just give them back their clothes.
Yeah, that's
I would
fine,
assume that's what they do.
But, that's something that always gets me. It's costumes.
Yeah.
Because, okay, the Joker's, what is he? He's barefoot in a suit, jacket, and fancy trousers. And a cummerbund, I think. It's okay, no, it's just a tuxedo without a shirt. That's actually quite sensible. Whereas Harley's is so specific. It's I kind of want to see her sitting there, drawing pictures and giving them to, a seamstress and going, so I want it like this, and I want it I want it really tacky, shell suit fabric that was really big in the 80s. I want it made out of that. It's that's what I want to see. I will say there is one thing that I think is pretty interesting about her design. Her tattoos. Not her shitty face one.
Yeah.
She's got, two face tattoos and they're fucking garbage because face tattoos never look good, in my opinion. But on the front of her thighs, she's got, just doodles. Where they're upside down.
So they're prison tattoos.
That she's done herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That is a touch of genius. That is actually pretty good. I mean, I think, you tattoo yourself, that's a fucking stupid thing to do anyway. Because I've seen infected self-done tattoos, and dear God. But I thought that was a really interesting kind of thing of she's obviously sat there with a tattoo machine, or something she's made, and doodled on herself. And you can tell that just by looking at it. That's cool. Of course, the actual tattoo she's got on her right wrist is actually pretty cool, to the point where I was angry that she had it because I kind of wanted it. But yeah, otherwise it just looks a bit grimdark and cringy.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing.
And I don't think it's going to be very good.
No, I don't. I've never thought it was going to be very good. But that's just because DC's attempt to make its own cinematic universe comes across as even more cynical than Marvel's, and Marvel's is pretty cynical.
That's pretty cynical.
So I don't know. It doesn't strike me like it's going to be particularly good. But I mean, there is
I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, there is the positive thing to take from the reshoots, which is that it can go one of two ways. Either the reshoots are done and they insert life into the movie that it desperately needed, and will mean that a movie that was previously going to be this kind of very over-serious, ponderous thing, like the other DC movies have been accused of in their new cinematic universe, and it's going to fix all that and then add the levity it needs and make it into a genuinely good movie that it was not going to be previously.
Here's hoping.
Or it'll make it into an unfocused mess, which will have continuity errors and plot holes all over the place because the script was hastily rewritten to add in these extra scenes that are reshot. So these reshoots could be a good thing, or they could be the worst thing. It will be interesting to see, but then I am the sort of person that had no interest in seeing Batman vs Superman at all until I heard that it was crap, at which point I kind of want to see it, because when I hear about something that's just kind of I'm not interested in. I'm like, well, I'll probably see it at some point just because I want to know how it turned out. But I don't want to see it at the cinema because it costs too much to go see it at the cinema.
That and, you're giving them money, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, I prefer to... I'll wait till it comes on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, wait until it pops up on Netflix, yeah.
But then when I find out, like, oh no, it's like a real fucking train wreck, it's an absolute mess, I'm like, I have to see what kind of mess it is. I really want to see it now. I think I'd posted a thing on Twitter saying, yeah, I think there is something very, very wrong with me over this.
There's a word for that, and I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
But it's basically like, it's the kind of thing in your brain where you see a car crash and you can't look away.
Yeah, I'm like that with movies, like how I'll watch movies I know I'm gonna hate because I want to see what's wrong with them. It's why I sat through the whole of movie 43 despite it being the death of comedy.
That's why you sat through Food Fight. I bought that never to be watched, and what do you fucking do?
Yeah, I went and watched it.
Yeah, like a fucking idiot.
What I can say about Food Fight is that it's one of those movies
where it's the best Batman vs Superman story you've ever seen.
Hey, say what you like about Food Fight, stuff happens in it.
Whoa!
No matter how many... I've seen like 3 different people review Food Fight, and because it's such a mess, there's stuff that they had to leave out for time reasons. Like, you're watching it and you're going, there is so much in this that I never even thought was in this.
What was it? You told me that you were seriously considering live tweeting everything wrong with it, and then gave up about 5 minutes into the movie because there was just so much you couldn't keep up.
This has been the Twitter episode of the MisanthroPod, where we talk about Twitter a lot, apparently.
Sponsored by Twitter. Well, no. It's not, actually, but if they want to give us money, I guess that'd be fine, but we're not going to tell everyone that it's the best thing ever.
Yes, Twitter, the corporation, you should support our Patreon.
Yeah, Twitter. God, we're sick of you. Sick of you fucking mincing around and never giving back to us.
We use your service like good users, and what do? Nothing for us. Nothing, apart from provide a service. But that's what what's expected of you. You don't go out your way for us.
You utter bastards. You know what, let's all boycott Twitter. I'll start a hashtag, it'll be great. Wah wah. Come on, that was a joke, I'm very tired. So yeah, seeing as we've done bitching about Twitter...
Apparently that's what we're doing today.
And things happening on Twitter? Yeah, that's us done for this episode.
That's the 3rd episode done, yay!
Yay!
If you want to find us on other things, just search for Snipe and Wib on Google.
Just Google us. You'll
find our
us.
Twitter and Facebook and Patreon, YouTube and Twitch and all those things.
Just Twitter. That's what people are tuning in for. Twitter talk with Snipe and Wib.
The Misanthro tweet.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Yes, in a fortnight. So, goodbye.
Goodbye. And bye.
It's not awkward or anything.
It's not awkward or anything.